Welcome back. You are still watching The Globe. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has described the Myanmar's Rohingya people as among the most discriminated people in the world.
Now, concluding a visit to Bangladesh that currently houses close to 1 million Rohingya who have fled persecution in the neighbouring Myanmar, the UN chief described their plight as one of the most tragic stories in relation to the systematic violations of human rights.
Now, World Bank President Yong, who travelled with the Secretary-General, also committed almost $500 million in grants for Bangladesh to support the Rohingya.
They travelled to the region to show their solidarity with the persecuted Rohingya, visiting refugee camps, hoping to mobilise some $950 million for the Rohingya humanitarian aid plan that remains only 26% funded.
It is impossible to visit these camps without breaking our hearts with the suffering of the Rohingya people. First of all, listening to the terrible stories of massive violence, of killings, of rape, of torture, of houses or villages burned. It is probably one of the most tragic stories in relation to the violation, the systematic violation of human rights. It is unacceptable that these people that have suffered so much in Myanmar now has to live in the difficult circumstances that these camps inevitably represent.
Guterres warned that without the required funds, UN agencies would not have the capacity to provide basic needs, while raising concerns that malnutrition was on the rise, with conditions of water and sanitation already far from ideal.
I believe we need to combine a word of deep gratitude to the government and people of Bangladesh for the fact that they have opened their borders when so many other borders are closed in the world. And they have received so generously these people and provided them with basic protection and support. But it's also necessary to say to the international community that the solidarity expressed until now by that international community has not been translated in sufficient support to the people, to the Rohingya people of Myanmar in Bangladesh.
Officials have warned that some 200,000 Rohingya in camps would need to be relocated as the approaching monsoon season is threatening their safety.
I was humbled, I was moved, and I was extremely touched by the courage of the women and men that we met today. You know, in extremely difficult conditions, they kept repeating again and again, their first priority is justice. Their first priority is dignity. And we stand completely in solidarity with them. I have spent my entire life in developing countries providing health care and education to the poorest people. This is one of the worst situations I've ever seen. Today, we are all Rohingya, and we have to stand in solidarity with them so that they can live a life of dignity.
Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya fled into Bangladesh, with the UN and the United States accusing authorities in Myanmar of ethnic cleansing, a claim Naypyidaw has rejected. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.